Be coming in that first big practice after a tough loss like we had, and our guys have responded and they were fired up and juiced up and ready to go today. So extremely proud of where we're at. And you mentioned that we've got some solid individualized numbers, but we just got to keep climbing and putting that together as a team.
And also, this past week's game was nice to see. It wasn't just Houston. You know, I think Jay Sean had it, so it opens up that a little bit.
Yeah.
And then getting the run game started, which I asked discipline as well, is it difficult going in to try to start a run against a team that practices every day against a triple option and knows how to stop the run?
Yeah, clearly they practice a lot of different stuff, and so I'm sure they're going to be very disciplined defensively with their eyes, especially on some certain stuff. But we've got to get better in that facet of the game. I mean, I'd be shocked if we don't look up and that's what Rice is trying to do to us. They're going to play two high safeties and say, hey, run the football. We want to see if y'all can prove that y'all can really run it. And so we've got to keep stressing that. I thought we did a pretty good job for the most part today in our run scheme that we have built for Rice this week. But again, still got to keep punching there, And again, you look back to Memphis, we knew it was going to be tougher sledding running the football going into that game. That was the strength of their defense, was stopping the run and their defensive line. So we knew we were going to have to attack more through the air. But still, definitely an area that we're really working hard to improve.
This is the last one for me. Is more on a personal note. Not only for you, but quite a few of your players and coaching staff. Texas is home for you. Is this one of those games that when you got the schedule, you circled and said, okay, you can look forward to this game?
Not necessarily, no. I know my family and my wife for sure circled this one because I think we're going to have somewhere between like 30 and 40 family members just from my family alone coming to this game because it's the close one. It's easy. We got people that live right there close, and so. But as far as the game goes, and it's cool going back home for sure. I lived in Houston for 3 years when I coached at Houston Baptist, so I've got fond memories of Houston. And my first son was born down in Houston, and so there's some great memories of that place. There's a great memory of us when I was at West Kentucky going down there and winning a big game down there too. So there's been some good memories there, but I wouldn't say necessarily something I circled just to be excited to go back home. Just I circle every game because again the Owls are playing in it. There's 2 Owls playing in it this week, but the FAU Owls are playing in it, and that's why it's a fun game for us.
Coach, last game Jamari obviously suffered a bit of an injury. Is there any sort of update on that?
Yeah, he's day to day. We're hopeful for him to play Saturday, but we've got a few more days here to keep going and see if we can get him going Saturday. But he's going to travel with us, and we'll see what we can get going for him on Saturday.
Foot injury or
ankle injury?
Ankle injury. If he can't go, maybe see more of Xavier, Cade shows that maybe video.
Absolutely, yeah. It'll be those two guys, and we got a young freshman back that's up and coming to an Ethan Irvin, and so. But again, Xavier Trell came in, played a lot of snaps for us in the second half last week, did a really good job, and Caden too. He's more of your downhill kind of type back, so we'll make sure that we're doing a good job of mixing those guys in this week.
Even though he's injured, Sands says, is that going to affect maybe the game plan offensively, or do you think it won't affect things too much?
No, I mean you never want to lose a player like that, and again we're still hopeful that he's going to be able to play Saturday. So to be honest with you, I'm game planning for him to play because I know exactly who he is as a guy and how bad he wants to play and how hard he's going to work between now and Saturday to get that ankle right. But even if for some reason he can't go, I feel good about the game plan with those running backs that we have.
I don't know if you mentioned he practiced today.
He did a little bit. He wasn't not full go, but he did a little bit.
And moving on from Jamari, obviously Leon was ejected from the game late in the contest against Memphis. Is there any update on him? Is he suspended for maybe the first half of his game?
No, he's actually not. We got word on that. Clearly unacceptable by Leon, and we're handling it internally. We talked to the conference office, and they were gracious enough with us to not suspend him, and he knows moving forward that he's on thin ice, and unacceptable. And he admitted fault, gave an apology, and we're trying to move on from that.
I couldn't really see it from up in the box. What exactly happened? How did he end up getting sick?
I don't want to dive too much in it. Just a little confrontation with the officials.
Obviously, You got two forms of the option coming up, right? So we give you guys a little bit of the more they'll do their option, but they also can drop back and pass. How do you kind of strategize that? Don't key in on the run too much because then Jenkins can drop back and air it out.
Yeah, it's all about your eyes, you know. I'm challenging. You got to challenge your safeties this week. Your safeties and your corners are huge pieces of the puzzle this week, and so you got to have great eyes, you know. They're going to do the orbit motions and all this stuff, and they're going to triple option you, and then here comes the deep pass over the top, the play action pass. Here comes the reverse coming back around the edge, and so again, it's staying diligent and doing your job and being great with your eyes. I was working on them, their offense early this morning, watching their offense, and you look at a team like Charlotte, who they gave up 28 points to them, and they were just not doing a great job, in my opinion. And I don't know what call they were, where they're supposed to be, but just guys not doing their job, trying to make plays when it wasn't their turn to make a play, setting the edge on defense, stuff like that. And then you watch this past game against Navy, and I thought Navy did a much better job of making plays, and it was their time to make plays, setting edges, doing their job, and being more disciplined, with their eyes, with all the stuff that's going on, and making sure you don't lull yourself to sleep and just scream up to play run, because then you can have guys running wide open deep. And so really, and again, I know it's coach speak, probably sounds like it's be disciplined, do your job, but it starts with our eyes. You can't get your eyes caught in the backfield, stuff like that. You got to make sure you got your eyes on your man.
The offensive line, I thought, had a solid game in pass protection despite there being a shuffle there. Is Nomar expected to be back at left tackle this game, or are you guys still evaluating how you're going to approach that?
Yeah, he's expected to be back this week. He was we could have played him last week, but again, it was just one of those things we wanted to make sure he came back 100%. So he was more of an emergency role type situation last week. But he's feeling really, really good. Had a really nice day of practice today, back with the ones in there. And so feel good about where we're heading with those guys. Again, kudos to Scarlett bumping out to left tackle. Did do a nice job. And, Okino coming into his first start of the season did a good job there.